Welcome back, everybody, to Out at Reese's podcast. I'm your host, Reese Shalvis, and joining us once again, we got Royal T and Christian Reeves.
We finally back in here.
Yes, sir. Bit of a different setup today. We're just same studio, different room is all.
Yep.
I definitely like the couch.
I like this.
It's nice.
It's been portable. Like, y'all seen it at the shows. Like, this shit goes everywhere. Everywhere is out at Reese's.
Yes, sir.
Get out to recess.
The world is ours, you know.
The world's our playground.
Yes,
it's
sir.
our recess.
So how you been, man?
I've been really good recently. Ain't gonna lie. I mean, I've been grinding a lot and like a lot of pressure or whatever. But I feel like, I don't know. Life is good. Life is very good. It's
Life's
grind
good.
time. It's getting cold. People kind of staying inside more, so it's not as active. But I like staying inside. I like working.
It's having it get cold because I'm someone who always feels like I have to be outside doing stuff, hiking or whatever, right? But getting cold, it like forces me to stay home so I can just focus on podcasts and videos, editing, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a plus for the cold and such. Today was kind of warmer though. Did you guys notice? It felt a little warmer today.
All I can think of.
I got outside and it was 20 degrees out in this bitch. It was not warm at all.
Yeah, I'm literally just.
Well, the sun just
picturing-
went down, but like
Yeah.
earlier today.
The sun be coming out. It's like in parts of Utah, it's like when there's no snow, you could be mistaken like it's summer because it's just bright, sunny, blue skies. Like
Yeah.
everything looks super sunny, but you hop outside and it's cold.
Right. Yeah, it's
At least for me, I don't handle cold that well.
You-
Like
it's
I'm not made for this at all.
you see like the birds chirping outside and the sun just shining, and you're like, oh, it's nice. You walk outside, like, ugh, nope.
Yeah, you have to freeze
Never
a
mind.
little bit.
Yeah, there's some crack birds if they're outside right now. Like
Yeah.
actually,
Well, I still see them migrating. Like they're still like swarming out
they
south.
need to hurry
It's
up.
because-
I know.
It's because shit is fucked up. They don't know where to go. I feel like their migration probably
That's
fucked
facts.
up.
They stay in for the music.
Yeah, they wanted
That's
to
what I
come
hear.
to the show. I tried to let them in.
Yeah, but Lebo was like,
You
nah,
don't.
bro.
No, you don't need no birds in the house.
Yeah, no birds. I guess.
So how you been, Christian?
I've been all right. I've been working, but I need some help with my CPU
his,
situation.
His computer kind of took a dump, a fat dump.
In the middle of right after I recorded that freestyle too. It was right after. That, yeah.
Oh.
Like you can hear all the pops and stuff and the clicks. And like, I
Right,
was trying
right.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst. Bro, earlier this year, my computer crashed. I lost 111 songs.
111.
Yep. That I made
Did
in
that
like,
hurt?
this last year. Yeah, definitely did
Ow.
hurt.
Like what was going through your mind when you like just when you saw it and they were just gone and you're like what? How did you feel?
That shit had me so hot. I was super mad. I went through all the emotions because like it's my music and I was like, damn, that's a lot of hard work. But one of my homies, he told me right after, he was like, fuck the music. It's not about that. It's like you didn't lose the person who made the music. You didn't lose the ability either.
You just lost sounds,
I
right?
just
Yeah.
lost like files.
Right.
So I don't know, it kind of made me go harder. So I kind of started with like a clean slate and then just been building it back up.
Yes, sir. I like
so it's
that.
been a blessing in disguise, honestly.
That's been my biggest fear editing this Storm Tour podcast is I'm worried something's gonna happen to my computer and all my files are gone.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and then all I have are the clips that I've sent to people and such and posted on Instagram.
Like I thought my computer was gonna crash today.
Really?
I was trying to like reinstall Pro Tools and my computer wasn't restarting. I tried to do this at the studio at like the owner of the studio's laptop, and I damn near broke his computer trying to do this shit. I had to like wipe everything. I didn't wipe his files, but I had to wipe everything so it could restart. And I thought it happened on my computer, but thankfully we're all good. We got to recording. I had a cool freestyle session before I got here.
That's pretty sick.
Cool.
But yeah.
So how do you we got that group now where we freestyling every day.
Yeah, it's like daily check-ins, daily practice. I feel like it's cool because it's like freestyle. I feel like it's just really pushing effort. It's not really even being cool and like having like the best stuff. It's just like if you're willing to put yourself in that position and like give effort. And I feel like it's a good practice for like us artists.
And despite how you sound, you're just sending it to the group. Even if you sound like trash, right? If you didn't do a
Yeah.
good freestyle, it's like you're still just people are still hearing it, and it's making you just feel more comfortable doing it, you know?
Yeah, because I might say the best shit or I might say the worst shit. It doesn't matter. At least I'm putting the effort out, and like my worst shit's gonna get better.
Although I'm not one
Like
who
over
can say
time.
much on that because I recorded like 6 videos of me trying to freestyle and I
You
hit
could've
X on
s-
all of them.
Bro, I feel that too. There's
I
like a
didn't
lot
send
of
a
like
single
that.
one to you guys.
And you know what's wild? It's like I be freestyling, I be sending them to a lot of people and like a lot of artists. The artists don't respond. Like the people who respond are just like, it just shows a certain type of individual who doesn't give a fuck. They don't. It's like most of the people I show like responding aren't even artists. Like
Right, right.
real estate agent, barber,
Podcaster.
yeah. And it's like, yeah, they'll put the effort through. I'm like, for people who are artists, y'all won't do that shit. It's just interesting.
I wonder if it's a mindset of just like they're just always around that, so it's like more normal to them.
I think artists are in their head a lot too.
Yeah.
So I feel like they don't want to. We already exposing ourselves so much. We don't want to expose the wrong thing. We don't want to draw attention to the wrong thing. We want a certain type of attention. But also in our heads, we can get very locked with trying to get that certain type of attention, especially in the social media world.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
very hard. I feel like I don't give a fuck. I could be laughed at. I could be hated. I could be loved. I'll just go where I'm appreciated, not where the people are hating me. If you hate me, at least you show me where not to go. So that's cool.
It's like being trapped in a box that it's like so hard to actually get out of. You know.
Yeah.
It's,
But I feel like, yeah, the box is an illusion. Nobody really gives a fuck what you're doing.
right. And
Like, nobody really cares.
so for me, posting my podcast publicly to my old friends and family on social media, I was so nervous about that because I used to think, what are they gonna think? You know, even despite me still putting it out on for the entire internet to see, I was worried about promoting it on my own personal social media because I was like, what are they gonna think? But it's like, I haven't talked to 99% of them in like years. Why do I give a shit what they think? You know what I mean? So I just started sending it out there, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'm like, I don't even give a shit anymore.
Same. I was scared for my family and also coworkers to see my music. Cause like I don't like hiding myself with music. I like the only way I can make music is just be me, or else it just sounds fake. But it's like when I'm in a work environment and around like judgy like relatives, I have to put on that fake appearance because I'm not trying to deal with all that, especially in a job setting where they're like, oh shit, you talked about this, and this. We may like drug test you or something.
I've actually been worried about that with my job. Like not drug testing because I don't necessarily talk about drugs, but I have been worried about like if they hear my podcast and like, so you said this, that you did this at your old job. Are you doing that at this job? Or, you know what I mean? Like just because I open up quite a bit on my podcast, you know, and maybe a little too much sometimes for where I'm at with my current job, but
Yeah, you just gotta not give a fuck. It's like same thing with freestyle. It's like the people. It's like for somebody to really listen in that close to what you're saying, they really have to care, or like they really have to be invested. People will listen to your music. People will listen to whole ass songs, know every like word in the song, still not know what they're saying. It's just how much effort they're gonna put in listening. Which
right.
I don't feel like most people will really do that. So that's like another illusion that was in my head. I put it out to my family. My coworkers, I started sending them music. I had like a group chat in that center, unwork related. We got that shit made just so I could put out this stuff and like start promoting shows. And it was pretty cool. It was like I always got good feedback. I always got like support, even from the coworkers and bosses. Even though I'm out of there now,
That's
but
crazy.
it was really
though.
cool.
Like that's awesome. I feel like if I bring up my podcast, like when my podcast really starts to gain traction, I'm like kind of nervous to bring it up to my boss because then he'll be like, oh, he might be quitting soon. You know what I mean? Because there will become a day where I'm like, all right, financially it's supporting me enough, and I know if I quit my job, have the extra time to put more effort into the podcast, it'll go even faster. And I'm kind of nervous for that day. You know, I don't know how they're gonna react to that day.
I feel like they're selfish if they try and stop you.
Right.
Well,
Like, where if you're at a company, you will never own that product. You will never reap the full rewards of that. You're always going to be working off of somebody else's profits and the share that they give you.
That's true.
It's like if you make that decision to like take the risk and put it all on yourself with the responsibility, that's something that most people are not willing to do. when I see it with my job, when I left them because of this same stuff, they honestly applauded me. They're like, damn, that takes some guts. That's like, I see you
Right.
doing stuff.
I 100% agree. But one thing that really makes me I think the thing that makes me most nervous about it is just this year alone, I've traveled 4 different times that they've sent me on trainings, paying $1,000+ each time, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like, dang, they just invested all this money. Now who knows, maybe I'll still be there another year or two, right? But eventually it will happen, and it's just like, dang, they invested all this money in me, and now I'm leaving. Now obviously I'm not gonna
Mhm.
let that stop me. I'm not gonna definitely.
Which it's tough, but like think of this, like for Out at Reese's podcast, you can't have this without Reese. For that position, it's a job position. As soon as it vacates, somebody else is gonna take it.
Yeah, like it's gonna get filled,
It
and
might
like
be a bitch for them though.
yeah. Well, you'll know like when it's time for you to leave. Like you'll just know. Like you'll
Right.
feel that it's like time for you to kind of give the podcast all the attention that you can.
That I feel
It's
like
very intuitive because it's like same thing with going out. Like when we traveled earlier this year for Storm Tour, some people wouldn't travel because they're like, all right, I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like I can do this. And like those mental things will stop them. And there's another person that sees it and be like, oh, let's go, let's do this. Like I called you, you was down. We went down to LA, drove.
and it was like last second too.
Yeah, we had to fuck Las Vegas because their Airbnbs was horrible.
Dude, that was crazy. We'll have to tell them what happened, but yeah, it's like it definitely is. It definitely just is one of those things that you can't let it hold you back, and it is gonna be hard though, because when it does get to a point where, so I make so much money at my current job, right? Then when the podcast say matches that, I'm making double the money, but it's like, so it's gonna be hard to say
Yeah.
goodbye to this job.
But also,
You know what I mean?
like money is just a store of value. What about your time?
Right, and that's facts.
I feel like time is super, super big.
I,
Cool.
it really definitely comes down to, can I really make this for extra 8 hours a day that beneficial where I can really speed up my process that much more? And I think it really depends on where I'm at the time with the podcast, what I got planned, and it's like, okay, you know what, I gotta quit.
Yeah.
And you got to manage your energy too. It's like your job is going to take energy out of you in that day, whether you like it or not. You're putting effort out to them. So it's like, and you kind of have a limit of how much effort you can give out. Obviously, the more effort you give out, the more you get to give out. If you just stay on it and you're grinding. That's why people can hustle so hard, because they've broken past that parts where they told themselves, all right, I don't have any more, and they go more. So then the next day they find, all right, I can do this again.
It's like, I think when people have their limits, their limit is a lot more than they think. So when you find the limit that you think you're at, push past that.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately what it comes down to as well, just finding your limits and then being like, okay, pushing past them. And
It's true.
can I push past my limits right now, when I get to that point while I'm still working this job? Yes or no, and that can kind of help you decide. All right, I think
Yeah.
it's time to say goodbye.
Well, and that'll bleed into other areas too, because you'll push yourself past a certain point and be like, looking back, like, oh, I'm stronger than all of this stuff, and like you'll start thinking less about the small things that happened to you that you think might be holding you back, and realize that the bigger picture, if you just keep putting in the effort, that things are gonna work out. You just gotta stay focused and consistent with what you're wanting to get.
You got to keep that picture in your mind of like what you want, because doubts can really creep in, and then all of a sudden you start playing like all these doubts in your head on a daily basis of how shit could go wrong, and that stops you from really like pushing past that limit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it definitely takes a lot of practice to get over, because I mean, some people just naturally can just do it, and go crazy. Others, like I feel like myself, I really have to work out that muscle, because really your
I
brain
don't feel
is
like
like
nobody
muscle,
naturally does it. I feel like when somebody does it, it looks easy.
That's true.
Like
Exactly.
when you go out on your podcast, to everybody else it looks easy when you're at the show.
I'm terrified, bro.
Yeah, if you were inside of your head, inside of like your emotions, you could feel that anxiety, you could feel that fear. But I guess it is a practice of how you felt the fear so many times you didn't let it stop you.
Well, and another good example back on the show, I actually got really comfortable after the first 2 or 3 interviews, because I think I did like 13 interviews at that show, and
He was going ham.
and I was like, after the second or third one, after talking to a bunch of people coming up to me, be like, "Yo, you're Reese," I was just like, I just felt, I literally had this sense of being home. You know, it was weird. It's like I felt so comfortable. I was like, this is it. Like, this is where I gotta be.
I fuck with that heavy. That's what I feel like. That's how I feel like when I was on the stage that night. That's how I felt.
Really? Oh,
I was like,
it's an amazing
yo.
feeling.
Cause that was probably one of my favorite performances I did. Like, it's the home crowd and all that, but it was one of the best shows of the storm tour, this whole year.
Dude, it was
And it was
the
in our own
best.
city. Like, that's just a different feeling. Being able to create that in your own city. It's our own venue, our own podcast, like our own people, fully independent. Like, it's a different thing. It's a movement going on here. I feel like people got to tap into this.
Oh, for sure. Like Salt Lake City, bro. Like when I was asking Lebo that, when I was like, "Where's your favorite place that you've performed?" He'd been to Miami, Los Angeles, Seattle, all these different cool places. And when he said Salt Lake City, I was like literally taken away. You can hear it in my voice in the podcast. I'm like, really? Like actually?
Yeah, I'd be surprised too.
So it's definitely crazy. But,
What?
oh, were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Awkward pauses.
I'm just listening in. I want, this man can do the talking because
he's spitting fire, dude.
It's just natural. It's like the music. You can't force nothing.
So warm milk with cereal, guys, right?
I love that shit. Fuck y'all.
No, actually, I think that's so funny. So last time had you on a podcast.
I poured the milk first, bitches.
No, I think we talked about
You try that?
Huh?
You try it?
Well, I feel like pouring the milk first is better, because you control how much sogginess the cereal. We talked about this on the podcast on the last one that we were on.
But also, have you seen how Kendrick Lamar eats his cereal?
I haven't.
This homie puts in the cereal first, and then he puts a little bit of milk, so then the bottom kind of gets a little bit more soggy, but he doesn't fill it up all the way, and he kind of eats it, so he waits a little bit so it can all maintain a well consistency, like if you were cooking rice and you were putting water into the rice. And then he just eats it at a semi kind of
he makes it he makes his cereal very elegantly.
Bro, that's like the filet mignon of
right, yeah,
of cereal.
Just for
I
context,
probably butchered it, but y'all should watch that.
I want to give context real quick why I just suddenly randomly brought up warm milk. It was the last one-on-one podcast I did with Royalty. He just randomly brought up warm milk and cereal, and I was like, hey, that's what's up.
I mean, it is what's up. People be sleeping on this shit.
So you actually put warm milk in cereal?
I get the milk. I pour that milk first. I put it in the microwave so that shit gets warm, and then I put my cereal in.
Okay.
Frosted Flakes is amazing with that.
I'm about to try this.
It's
soon.
not good for
Dude,
all cereals.
let's try it tonight. Let's go run to the store, grab some some Frosted Flakes.
They're going to be like Royalty, the warm milk guy.
the warm milk guy. Yeah.
Oh, no. I can see that on Reddit, in a Reddit comment section already.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, no.
My career's ended before it started.
The moment you end up on Reddit, it's over.
Nah, man. There's going to be the...
I'm just trying to end up on... Never mind.
That's gonna be how it is though in the future. You're gonna be a topic.
Bro, yeah. Imagine out at Reese's subreddit.
That'd be
Royalty
fire.
subreddit.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Just brings me back to the old days when I used to watch KSI, and he'd be going through.
I remember
through
that.
his Reddit and stuff.
Those was the funniest videos ever.
So funny.
I feel like we bonded on that a lot.
Dude, yeah. Well, you were the one that showed me him.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. You're like,
yeah.
have you seen this guy? I was like, no, and just started watching. He was so funny. I started
Honestly,
watching him.
back in the day, YouTube everything. Honestly, it's still YouTube, but now I just search up beats and shit. Low-key, I got a question though.
Yeah, what's up?
Mal West, how's the music been?
It's been all right. I mean,
Is your mic falling?
A little bit.
Here, if you
A little bit.
twist that knob on the big knob on the right, all the way to clockwise, really tight.
It's pretty tight.
Really harder. All right, no, you're good.
Okay, we're chilling. It's gonna fall, but that don't matter. Okay. Yeah, no, I've been working on a lot of beats and stuff, and trying to figure out how to make a different sound. Man, y'all are geeking over here.
I'm just like, we not gonna say nothing to that.
Let me just play with the mic for a full 30 seconds before I answer your question.
But what was the question? I'm sorry, my mind literally just like lost it after that.
I was asking Mal West how the music been.
Oh, right.
For like viewers who don't know, like me and Mal West, we used to be like in the studio, just in my parents' basement, like the whole fucking day, like making shit. And like a lot of days, we wouldn't even come out with anything, but we'd just be trying, cause like we all had these dreams, and everybody around us kind of left, like who was with us with it. So we only had we was like, all right, let's do this shit ourselves if we have to. And like those are some very instrumental times. I feel like
Yeah.
me as an artist growing, cause we'd really just work for hours and hours.
Yeah, and like I think about that, and like even for me, with how long I had been producing already, it was still the beginning. Like really,
Yeah.
because like vocals were not. I mean, I recorded some stuff in high school, but you don't want to hear that.
I want to hear it. Let's play it.
I got you after this, but
I took down the shit I released in high school.
yeah, I don't even. Luckily,
Like Jungle Fever.
Jungle
Yeah, if y'all
Fever.
can find it, then
I'll remember that actually. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I just been working on a lot of beats and like figuring out like the same sound, but like I don't know. I've been redirecting like my vision a little bit, and like the vocals, the whole vocal side of things. Like I don't know. I'm just experimenting and figuring things out. I really don't post like anything, but
yeah, you've been quiet.
yeah, that's just where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I feel you. I've been low key like recently too. It's like especially after the show, I've been like very low key, cause I don't know. I just been working on my own. I have like a lot of stuff I want to do,
Dude,
I just don't want to like give off any like hints yet.
Yeah, well, and like I can tell. I know, like sometimes you just know when it's time to kind of pop out a little bit more, and like
Yeah.
that's been how it is as of recently, because I've just had people show up in my DMs. Like all of a sudden, I'm in a group chat full of artists, and I'm like,
how'd I get here?
who added me to this?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a cue for me. Like, okay, it's time to get public a little bit more again.
I feel like it's like contrast. Like it's like when you're going to social media or any type of thing, you're going for people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, or like, I guess it might be just like how much support or like how much respect or like whatever is put on. But I feel like in this stage, like, I can't just be spamming people. I'll show them and I'll be loud when I like get on there, show them what's up. But then I kind of go ghost, so then I can like make them wonder. I don't want them really knowing exactly what's happening all the time. I don't care about posting my daily life on shit too, cause shit's private.
Yeah, it's more attractive. Like the mystery of it is a lot more attractive for sure.
Especially because every time I come back, it's gonna be better and it's gonna be different and it's gonna give you something to digest and really think on for a while. I don't want my shit to be like, ooh, emotion grab, damn, that's wild, on to the next. I don't mind, like, you can really take it in. You can really think on it. You could build your own thoughts upon it. And, like, yeah, I feel like I don't need to be here in your face all the fucking time for that. My work should show in my work.
Right. I since I really started grinding on this podcast, I haven't even touched my own beats or trying to make anything for like probably over a month now.
It's priorities. We only got enough time in the day.
I do want to get back on it though, just because I feel like there's a couple things I made pretty cool, and I want to try and get new stuff
I mess
going.
with what you
know?
had going on. Ain't gonna lie. Like, when you sent me the first beat, I was like, how the fuck is this your first beat that you ever made?
It wasn't even like a hip hop style beat or anything. It was like it sounded like a video game like
Mm.
main theme song, like from like an 8-bit
Mhm.
Yeah,
video
no,
game.
your
type of thing.
melodies, like you make some good melodies, bro.
Yeah,
Like
we
actually,
got like the melodies here and we got the drums
Yeah.
right here.
Dude, his beats go crazy, bro.
Hmm
And then you got the lyrics, bro. We're a band.
Yeah, we got it right here. Let's hop out. But
yeah.
honestly, we got a nice team around us. There's a lot of dope individuals here in Salt Lake City.
Well, you know what I find crazy about our team, sort of like because I feel like my team is everyone I work with, right? You guys and the community, whatever. But what's crazy is like the fact that it's with specifically you
Yeah.
because like I met Christian in I was in fifth grade, he was in fourth grade, and like what's weird is like all my closest and best friends growing up, when we usually go on a long break without hanging out, it's over. Like we just don't hang out anymore.
Yeah.
I've gone on breaks with him, just not hanging out anymore, talking really. Even same with you too.
Just
Yet
barely.
here we are.
Yeah.
We're back.
When was the last time we saw each other?
Well, I mean, like, at your apartment. Before that, a year, straight
Damn.
up.
That's crazy. And like it's just crazy that it's like despite the distance we had for long periods of time for both of us, I consider you guys my closest friends along with a couple other people, you know.
Honestly, because it's like you get connected in something more than just text messages daily, more than just phone calls. It's like, I don't know. I feel like we always be tapped in on some type of thing. It's like we can go a long time, like a really long time without talking, and I can call you.
And then we just
Yeah.
catch up, and it's
We
like
just
it just
catch up, it's the
flows.
same
It's
thing.
just like that, you know. It's crazy. Just
And I feel like it's rare. You don't get it with everybody, and I feel like you're not supposed to. And that's why you need to appreciate the ones that you do have in your life that are like that.
And
Some
really-
people block their blessings by not seeing that.
right, yeah. Yeah, it's just weird looking at it, like seeing where we've all come from, just our different backgrounds, pasts, and everything. It's like the way we were back then versus now. The fact that we've all changed so drastically, yet we're all still here talking and hanging
Yeah.
out, making music, going out, you know,
Yeah, this shit used to be YouTube videos and playing
gaming
video
videos.
games, saying wild shit on games. Now we just need a camera and a microphone.
Yeah. Well,
Black
and
Ace.
I'll be real. Like, when I first started doing anything like this, I was doing video, and like I really wanted stuff to work. It was with YGT. I was getting ready to start doing film with Austin.
Wasn't this when you like? I think it was slightly before that, but you like went to LA and did your own
Yeah.
YouTube kind of shoot there.
Yeah, and like I really, I wanted that to work, and then it just kind of like I just kind of let it slide off because I'm like, it just doesn't feel right now, and like it took me a while, and like when I found music, like, man, that's when things really kicked off, and like I started connecting with people that there was more of a relationship there that you could, both parties would grow from, like, oh, you're able to provide this, I'm able to provide that, just everything went a lot smoother. Like it was more meant to be like this.
It didn't feel as forced.
Yeah, exactly. It was natural.
Cause like when we first like linked up, you're like, all right, I make beats. I'm like, oh, I'm like a vocalist, singer, rapper. I do that type of stuff. I can record. You can make beats. Boom.
Yeah.
Let's lock in.
Exactly.
You know, that's actually exactly how it was for me with both doing YouTube gaming videos back in the day and streaming on Twitch. Streaming on Twitch still definitely felt more smooth than doing YouTube gaming videos, but the podcast just overall has been the smoothest and cleanest thing I've ever done in my life, and it's just been so natural, and the amount of opportunities that are opening up right now have been more than anything I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been inspired seeing this, like for real.
Oh yeah, same. Like seriously, it's giving me a lot of motivation. Like
I wake up and I see a new Reese podcast going out, and I see the artists like promoting that. I'm like, yo, these artists are hype about this. It's like Reese is offering this like platform that was never available to us before, and it's a blessing that you're doing this, but it's also a blessing seeing my friend like doing something successful.
Dude, we're all doing something successful.
So,
And part of something big.
yeah.
And I think the one thing I really want to not let happen, though, I don't want to just become primarily a hip hop artist podcaster. I want to, because like really what I want to do is
Don't call me a hip hop artist.
right. But that's just mainly been the genre I've
Yeah.
been exploring, right? But
And
really, ultimately, sorry.
Nah, you're good. I feel like also relating to that point, it's like I never was coming in trying to be like a rapper or like hip hop, whatever. This is just the people that I was around, and this is just the platform that was available for me to come up.
But ultimately, it's your art.
But it's like I just fuck with music. I don't give a fuck what music it is, cause I don't make music. I don't even make the same music I be listening to. I listen to a lot of hip hop and like a lot of that
Right,
stuff.
right.
But the stuff I like making sometimes may be very different than
Some
that.
of your newer stuff, I heard that it was like different. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, like
This
I
is
made an
sick.
alternative track and people was really fucking
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'll definitely have to listen to that after this podcast.
Honestly.
One thing though, like with my podcast, my main envision that I see is exploring different communities, cultures, and just life experiences, right? And I think I think what I'm gonna call it is phase one with this hip hop community and this hip hop scene, this underground hip hop scene is phase
801
one.
Underground.
Phase one, we visit the 801 Underground, right? Phase two could be something maybe music related, but maybe another genre or just something completely different. I'm kind of figuring that out as I go and just see where this community can go.
Yeah, I feel like you just gotta know what you want to be and take advantage of every opportunity you see fit.
Right,
You'll
right.
know like the things that you want to do versus the things you don't want to do. Just go for it.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
Back with what you were saying about alternative, it just made me think like there's someone that I'm trying to link with and I think it's just not lining up right for a reason maybe, but like I got some guitarists and some drummers in Provo that are like for real. Like they were in a band, but now they disband a little bit and I'm just talking to all of them like I'm trying to get together and like work on something real. Live drums, everything.
That sounds dope.
We gonna bring some modern day jazz to y'all. Y'all watch out.
Dude, it was you who introduced me to this whole community because it all started with that your first performance that you did. I wasn't actually able to go and I felt so bad because I was working those 2 a.m. shifts, so I had to sleep and I just could not wake up for it and then there was the Storm Tour LA, which was crazy, and that's when I was like, bro, what if I brought my podcast? Or was it you that told me to bring it, or I can't remember how that went down.
I don't remember exactly who mentioned it, but I was like, yeah, I don't know who mentioned, because I was like, all right, we need some photos too, and you just got like your new camera.
Yeah,
But
you
then
might.
we're like,
Yeah.
yo, I got the mics for like the podcast, and we're like, all right, that would be a sick idea. What if we just like film a little podcast there? Let's try and get this going.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't really work out the first time, but I don't know. Shit takes timing because we're here right now.
Dude, that time was crazy. Dude, we got to tell the story.
Oh yeah, trying to get to LA.
Well, it was so first off, it was like I think the weekend before we went. We had 1 week and I was like, bro, I'm going to LA with you. I just texted you that or something. I was like, bro, I'm gonna go to LA with you, and you're like, oh shit, all right, dope, let's do this. And
Yeah,
I was like, I can't take off any time off work, so it's gonna have to be just the weekend though. And I can't afford a flight. And we're like,
and I was on the same shit. I was like, all right, I only got this much time off of work. We're gonna drive up, like pretty much like short story. We're gonna give y'all the long way. Short story. We showed up, day of the show, did the show, left. Pretty much after the show, we fell asleep.
from
'cause we were
Friday
so
to
tired.
Sunday night.
And then Sunday we just came back.
It was like Friday after work too. And
It was Sunday morning, I think, that we came back, and we got back here on Sunday night.
well, we had stopped in Vegas on Sunday for a couple hours. Do you remember that? Just kind of parked there.
Coming back?
Yeah. In Vegas, it was with Sebi.
Oh yeah, with Sebastian. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was chill coming back from it. Going to Las Vegas, going to LA sucked. Super.
Oh, dude, that was I think that whole day just mentally sucked. Like, it was an awesome event, but mentally it sucked because
We were drained.
we
We was fucking drained.
we had planned to leave by like 4 p.m.
It's a 10-hour
We didn't leave
drive.
till like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
We drove through Vegas. We stopped there and we were like, let's just to get to our Airbnb.
Yeah, the first Airbnb, we got that. I got it the day before, so I'm like, all right, we're
I think
secure.
we got there
an
like
Airbnb.
was it 12 or 11? We got there
We got there 11,
like 11.
cause it wasn't super bad. We did leave later in the day, but we got there 11. We get to the Airbnb, we can't even get in cause this person's not answering. They didn't even answer the whole time, so we're like, okay, let's try and get a second Airbnb.
wait. Yeah. Sorry.
Show up to that Airbnb. There's still nobody to fucking let us in. They're like, all right, check-in is at like 12 o'clock. Like, this person is still not there. We're waiting outside the car. We're like, maybe we should just fucking sleep here in the car because it's already like getting so late. we see somebody deliver food to the same address. Like they ordered like a DoorDash or something to the same address.
It
So we're
was
like,
was it McDonald's or something? I think it was
yeah,
McDonald's.
McDonald's. So we're like, all right, are there some people in here?
That's y'all's food now.
It was our
It
food. 'cause we
became
took
our
that
food.
shit. Yeah.
Seb just like jumped out. He's like, "Bro, I'm taking it," because they didn't come out to get it for 30 minutes. So Sebastian just ran out, grabbed it, just hopped back in the car. Just we started eating it.
Yeah, we started eating that. At least they paid us in some way.
Some quick karma for real.
No, and
We ended up sleeping in a Winco parking lot.
well, so what happened was.
I was seeing people racing fucking shopping carts.
Oh
like,
yeah.
3 a.m.
I remember I was like, guys, I have to shit so bad. And so I was like, I'm going to drive to a gas station. We drove to a gas station. It was like a couple miles
Every
away.
gas station.
I get there, I go in. Oh, the toilet is broken, sorry. And I was like, dang. And it hurt so bad. I really had to go. Hop back in, drive to the next gas station. I went in there. The toilet's broken in that one too. I'm like, what? I think we went to a third gas station and the
What are
toilet
y'all
was
doing
broken.
in Las Vegas?
Right?
Where?
There's someone going around just breaking toilets.
You know what?
The toilet smasher.
It's the
Why the fuck you talk about these topics on these podcasts?
I was just about to say, it's the people who finally find a gas station, and they just were so like
they just dropping bombs on that bitch.
And then finally I was like, yo, there's a Winco nearby. They are open 24/7. They have to have a bathroom with working toilets. We went there. Finally, I got in there. I couldn't go.
This man is in there for like, I swear, like half an hour or an hour. Me and Sebastian like, what is up with this dude? He comes back. I'm like, did you finally do it? He says no. I'm like, what the fuck have we been doing this whole time?
So then we ended up sleeping in that parking lot in a Winco in Las Vegas.
Ain't gonna lie, waking up, the sunrise was beautiful.
It was pretty nice. And then we went to that Dutch Bros.
Yeah, got some coffee.
It was like 6, 7 a.m. and we got like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, 2 hours of sleep, and we did the show that same day.
That same day.
wow.
We got there. We probably got to be in the Airbnb in LA probably for a couple hours. We had to get ready for the show, shower, all that shit, and then legit by the end of the show, we were so passed out. We wanted to do the podcast when we got back after. We were so passed out. I laid on the couch that we was trying to do the podcast.
He was on the casting couch, and
did you say the casting couch?
that's what we call the podcast couches that I shoot on for this podcast. We call it casting couch.
Damn, this is a big ass casting couch.
I know, dude.
Hey, you need room.
Y'all can have a lot of casters on here.
And well, it's funny because we got we got back from the show, right back to the Airbnb, and I was like literally setting up the show, like you passed out on the couch, but I was still setting it up because I was like, we're still gonna do this. I'm like, my eyes are just like, all right, we're still gonna do this. I was like trying to get everything ready, doing all the sound tests, and then I was like, okay, nobody's back yet. Sebastian's on the bed asleep. You're on the couch asleep. I'm gonna rest for 30 minutes, get up and do the podcast. I fall asleep. About an hour later, Zanatic comes in. He's like, all of energy. He was like wide awake. He's like, bro, let's do this podcast. He's sitting in the couch with the mic already up, and I'm like laying down. I'm like,
I laid down on that couch and passed out. I didn't wake up till the next day. I didn't even hear Zanatic come in.
I was like, bro, I'm too tired to do this. I cannot do this tonight. And I even texted Lebo because Lebo was gonna stop by and do it. And
because everybody was passed out, like everybody, like whoever was with us in that first group, me, you, Sebastian, Wafer, we all passed out after.
You know,
also because I was super fucking drunk that show. God damn, I couldn't even fucking think. I was trying to I legit had a moment where I'm like, okay, focus. Like shit was wavy, and then I had to go perform on with Zanatic.
And then a podcast afterwards.
That didn't happen.
But it was actually that. So because I had like talked to 4 or 5 of the other artists. Then I was like, yo, come back to our Airbnb. Let's shoot this podcast. They were all hyped. They're like, yo, that's awesome. Let's do it. I remember when I was talking to them, you were looking at me like, hell yeah. I remember when we were standing outside.
I was like, that's my bro. That's my homie. He's doing it.
And I felt so bad because I texted all them all. I was like, I'm so sorry, but it's not going to work out tonight. Everyone passed out. Lol. And
Lol.
then when Miami, I wasn't really. as prepared for Miami either, but it was that fell through, and it was actually because of them falling through and having to tell people like, sorry, it's not gonna happen. When the royalty show came up, that's actually remembering like I can't let them down this time. I cannot let them down, and that's what I was terrified to do it for your show, but the fear of letting you guys down again is what drove me to like I have to do this show no matter how I feel. I gotta do it, and you saw how it turned out.
Honestly,
Yeah, and that's like the key though. Like
is the key.
confidence.
And I feel like,
Oh, sorry.
nah, my bad. I was cutting you off.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say like, confidence doesn't mean that the fear isn't there.
Right.
It's just doing it in spite of the fear.
It's like you can be scared but also brave.
Yeah, like
You know?
Nah, there is no bravery without fear.
Exactly.
You can't be brave without being scared.
Right. Yeah, that's facts. That's
Like,
facts.
it's impossible. That's what bravery is.
And you
Exactly.
need the confidence to be brave.
But also, in that way, like, you bringing up that, I feel like a lot of people, when they need to do stuff, they're like, ooh, it's like, I need to be in a good mood. I need to think positive and all this. I think yours was an example of how a lot of people perceive that as negative feelings, and they let it stop them. But those are negative feelings that push you to do something better. So I feel like a lot of this positive thinking, like all this type of stuff, it doesn't mean shit. What do you do with it?
Right, right. And that actually really taught me that I can podcast in any mindset because is my mic cutting out a little bit? Okay.
Nah, you're good.
I felt like that mindset has helped just from your show alone helped teach me that I can do this podcast in any mindset, because previously there was a couple days I'd canceled a podcast with Devon because I wasn't feeling it. I was like, bro, I can't do a podcast today. And then after doing that show, and then and now the Storm Tour 2 show, dude, I had a cold all week, really bad congestion.
Yeah,
And even the day of, I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? Like I had the possibility and thought sprouted in my mind, should I cancel the podcast? And I was like,
I would have
no,
been so mad. I ain't gonna lie.
I can't. Like again, I told myself I can't do that despite how I feel, because I got Lebo. This is one of my biggest shots with Lebo right now. I can't let that down. With this whole community, I cannot. And again, it was about not wanting to let people down, and I went through with it, and so far it's turning out really good.
I feel like that's a big thing that motivates me as well. I feel like when you choose a unconventional career, it's like you have to have reasons that drive you for like what you do, like own things like for you. It's like, I don't want to let my parents down. I don't want to let my family down. I don't want to let my friends down. I don't want to let the people that I do music with down, because it's like we all rely on each other to a certain extent. We all are here for a reason, or else one of us would have done everything. But I think
Right.
it's a good thing. It's a
We all
good
play a
thing.
part.
You gotta like notice that. You gotta notice how much you care about it. Cause yeah, I don't want to let nobody down. I care about all those people, so I'm gonna do everything I can so then I could be great for those people.
We all play a part in the grand scheme of life.
I love how we could be like fucking off on shit and then we go super deep.
Dude, it's how we be in real life too. Like this isn't even
Yeah.
just for the podcast. This is just how our conversations
Just-
go.
yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's different. I love it.
Dude, honestly, I like this. This is my first time I've done a podcast like this.
Honestly, this is a different
Yeah.
type of podcast. It's kind of it's like a recap, like also just like conversation,
Just
like,
chilling.
with
I like it.
homies.
I want to do a lot more stuff like this.
Yeah, it offers offers a different vibe.
Yeah, it's nice. And like initially, I was picturing a setup like this. I'm not even kidding. Like in there, I was like, man, you think Logan Paul's podcast? Like I don't watch that, but when I saw the set, I was like,
It's
that's
fire,
nice.
right? It
That's
looks
nice.
good, That's actually his set has inspired me for this set actually. Like
Oh, really?
these mics. Well, he has the Shure mics. These are just pod mics, but with the arms and the stands like
Yeah.
this, and then his couches that he sometimes shoots on. So he sometimes does the tables and the couches, or either or, but like I really like the couch vibe, which is why I went with the couch. And a lot of people have
Yeah.
told me, because I've considered moving to a table or which I love the tables, but people said they like the vibes, especially for the vibes of out at Reese's. They like the couch vibes.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
and almost like, I really like the way that podcasts with the tables are set up, but the camera is always switching. And like, if you have a big group of people, like say on like Joe Rogan's podcast, I noticed that it seems kind of cluttered. Like when you just have that desk, whereas if you're on a couch, everything feels more open and natural, like a real conversation, and like
Right.
your eyes is on everybody that's there.
Yeah.
It almost feels like you're part of. It's like almost feels like you can be there, part of the
Yeah.
conversation. You're just in that corner while we're in these corners.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You just can't really say anything. Sorry,
Yeah.
listeners. Maybe one day I actually do want to do live podcasts one day where we bring on people over a call, like fans, audience, just like for like a few minutes, 5 minutes at a time, and just talk with them, just like a kind of a guest, like a listener exclusive type of deal. Like maybe on my Discord, like move people into the room and just like see what's up. Get a connection with the audience. See like what do you guys think?
Yeah, you could do like a Q&A,
Yeah.
honestly, like a live chat.
That'd be
or
sick.
something.
One day.
I feel like it kind of speeds up the process, or if you have the process like down to that level, because it's kind of what we're doing. We make a podcast, and we put it out to people. We see the feedback, and then off of that information that we got, we make another one. Try and make it better with that information that we have. But if you do it live, that's happening right now. You're
Right.
seeing the live reactions. You're seeing what works, what doesn't.
Exactly. And honestly, these headphones were the move. This is
Headphones
fire.
are the
This
move.
is sick.
I'm
I feel
liking
locked
these.
in the zone. Like, yeah.
I'm tempted to start doing these for just regular ones in there, the one-on-ones.
I think it would be a good move. Plus, you can gauge like where you're at on the mic.
Exactly. So if you're kind of far
Yeah.
away and it's like quieter or harder to pick up, or kind of how it echoes now that I'm far away. But
Exactly.
But now I can like get close and sexual.
ASMR
Close
a
and
little
intimate.
bit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Here we are, out at Reese's.
Yeah, out of Reese's. You know what happens out of Reese's.
I apologize.
Casting
That's gonna be
couch.
a difficult.
We need more
EQ.
chicks in here because people gonna think this is some other shit. It's
The-
not.
This is gonna be clipped and taken out of context. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Reddit, here we come.
Here we go.
That's the first garbage post, bro.
It's gonna be the clip that goes viral too, out of
Yeah.
every clip.
It's funny. I feel like that bullshit could happen.
Oh,
Fuck that.
Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, just this whole ride has been crazy, guys. I'm glad you guys have been a part of it.
Honestly, and I think it's just starting.
Oh yeah, this is easily just the
Like,
beginning.
I feel like we see it a lot right now, but they're gonna see it soon.
The
Yeah.
thing is, that's the thing. That's the hardest thing when I'm talking to my family or friends that aren't a part of it, like you guys. They don't see it how I see it. They don't see it how you guys see it. And so like I see this vision and I can see it. It's literally in the grips of my hands. I feel like, you know what I mean.
Cause like what's wild is there's probably a lot of people out here. They're like searching for something like this.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But it's just like with the pathway I can see with this podcast, I truly see it going somewhere. And I can't it's impossible for me to show people my vision and how I see it cuz they're not in my
It wasn't
position.
placed in their imagination.
Yeah.
It wasn't for them to do. It wasn't for them to be involved with at the time.
Well, and sometimes like they might just say, "Oh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to do this," because they themselves don't think they can.
Right. Not just that though, but like because they don't see what I see, they're like when I tell them like I'm telling you this is going to work. They're like, "Oh, wow, that's cool." Like, just like although two of my siblings have said like I see this going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like so there is an
What about
outside
the ones who showed up
perspective.
to the show?
Yeah, they were the ones that said they see it
Uh-huh.
going somewhere.
Yeah.
And my mom, who's honestly the biggest supporter of this podcast, shout out to you, Mom. I love you.
Shout
Thank you
out
so
to
much.
moms.
Like, she's seriously listens to every podcast, calls me about them, tells me her thoughts, her opinions, and even tells me how I can improve. There's been
Ooh.
things that she's told me to improve on that I've literally taken to heart and been like, that's actually facts. I need to stop doing that, or I need to start doing that. And I think she's helped me become better at my podcast.
I'm gonna say,
It's
"Hey,
so important.
Hey, Mom, if you're watching this, which you probably are.
You a
but-
blessing.
it's been a while."
You helping everybody be great. But for real, on some for real stuff, like, yeah, having somebody like, it's super cool that it's like a family member and like your mom, but having somebody to be that supportive, like that really helps a lot of people. That helps you break past a lot of limits you may have. You push on to another thing, do something that may be a little bit more uncomfortable because you have somebody behind you who's supporting you.
I feel like support from your parents is so big because there's definitely a stigma in society where, especially for older generations, there's a big stigma for a lot of parents that are like, I want my son to get a good education and get a good job from that education, right? Like say
Mhm.
going to school or something. And so when oftentimes I've seen this happen where when a kid gets a young adult decides, you know what, I don't want to go to school. I want to pursue my actual passion instead. The parents can be very like, "Whoa, are you stupid?" Or they're just like, "Yo," like they're disappointed
It
because
just doesn't click in their mind.
Yeah.
they don't see it the way they can. You know, they don't know the actual potential that passion can bring them and take them, and so they definitely are more against them following that. With
Yeah.
I
And
mean, they'll
like,
be like, at least go to school while you do it or something, you know. And
you don't realize how much that takes out of you. They'll stop me from doing this shit. But that stuff did work in their generation. Like,
Mhm.
they were able to get a job and afford a house.
right,
They was able to actually get a job with their degree, and like actually like offer some stability to themselves and their families. It's not the same with us.
I,
Most degrees aren't gonna pay us that much. I'm making more than people make out. Like at my last job, I'm making more than people coming out with their degree. I don't have a degree or anything.
right,
It's
exactly.
like,
And
what's the point for that?
I want to say real quick before we move on from this topic, like my mom being the biggest supporter, I have to give credit to my dad too, because he's actually so all for my podcast. He's like, yeah, keep it up.
I
He's
heard you talking to him right before, like right when I was walking in. You was talking to him about it.
yeah, and he's just like, he's very supportive in the sense that he's like, I'm living in my dad's basement. I'm renting the basement when he's actually building a kitchen for, because it's gonna be my apartment down here, right? And he's all for like, yeah, use that as your office, use that as your room, and he's also, he's not charging me a crap ton of rent. Like he's giving me the foundation for me to start building my podcast. And
Mm-hmm.
if not for that, like huge shout out to you, Dad, if you're listening. You're probably not though, because I know you have the attention span of a squirrel.
This man out cooking his dad.
He knows he won't watch it.
The one podcast he watches is this one. No, I love you, Dad, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to do this and actually being supportive of this dream of mine, because I feel like it's rare for parents to support certain visions that don't line up with their own for their kids.
Yeah.
Like my parents probably wouldn't support it until they came out to a show, and then they were able to like kind of see it a little bit more. They saw
Exactly.
they saw like how natural I was. They saw the effort that I was giving out when I was doing this. Cause it's like, I feel like parents just don't want you to like be lazy and do nothing. Cause if you don't work on something, you don't work towards something, you won't get anywhere in this life.
Mhm.
That's trying to tax you with every fucking move you make. Me traveling here cost me money.
Yeah.
Every
Right,
day is
right.
gonna cost me money to live. It's like they see how scary this world is, and they see through them growing up and the people that they've seen made it and the people they've seen fall. They've seen how cold this world can be. They don't want that for their kids at all.
They want you to be safe.
But when they see you working, when they see you put effort out, when they see stuff actually coming from that, like some stuff developing from that, I feel like that eases their mind a little bit more, because it's like, oh, he's working towards something. Oh, this thing's developing. It's getting bigger. It's growing. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that kind of like helps with the reasons like to do this shit in their mind, I guess.
Yeah, like there's a lot of fear involved, which, I mean, I don't blame them, because a lot of people don't exactly know how to cope with fear, and like so they kind of want to control. Like they see, oh, he's about to do something that, personally, the people that I've seen in my life, I've seen them make some of these same choices, and they fell off the boat really fast. But like, I don't know. It's nice when you have parents that have that level of trust in you. Like even if you're doing something a little bit trippy to them, they're like,
Right.
I don't know, dude, but I'm gonna support you no matter what, because I brought you up, and so
So being in this industry, well, the number one thing I've been told the most when people are, it's basically warning me about this type of job or work, essentially, is there's a lot of competition, and it's really hard to actually make it big and make it in this type of, like podcasting. There's millions of podcasts all over the country.
Yeah.
And most of those are tiny and aren't going to go anywhere, because of the competition, and they just don't have the opportunities, And so So when I do something like this, it could have been. I'm sure my parents did feel that way at first. I'm sure they did feel like, yo, this is gonna be really hard.
Mm.
But I feel like a lot of people think like that with, oh, competition, there's all this stuff. So they don't, so because of all that fear and stuff that they have in their head, they don't give it their all and they become like everybody else.
Yeah, like they see the framework that has already been provided by society.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid to create their own framework.
It's like if you do something enough times, it's going to be good no matter who looks at it.
Mm.
Then the only problem is getting it to the right people. And who cares if you become the 1% and blow up? There's a lot of money out here in this world. If you can support yourself doing the shit that you like to do, you can own, like in America, own your own product, because that's probably the best freedom you're going to get financially. I think that's a go. That's like, in our generation, that's like what we need to do.
And that is facts.
For real.
And that is facts.
That's
I mean,
valid.
That's valid.
Bro,
I can't invalidate me, bitches.
I feel like I've been learning. I feel like I've learned more about myself and the world this year alone than any that I've lived.
This year's been I feel like I knew this year was going to be like a big year. But it's like at the start of this year, I had like one performance or a couple performances, like open mics. I'd be doing open mics and then like one actual show, like selling tickets and like promoting all this stuff. I did not think I was going to go out of state, coast to coast twice this year,
Dude,
bring it
LA,
back in our own city and make that the biggest one.
You did LA and Miami in the same month.
Twice. Like, that shit was fun. That shit was also, it was a learning experience too. It's like, yeah, freedom is not real. Freedom is just money, and we just need more of that shit. That's all I have to say with
And
that.
that is facts.
That is valid.
No, it's true. I mean, and time is your most valuable asset, so... And that's what I like about my situation right now. Like I was talking to you about my work schedule, because it gives me the time to focus on what I actually want to do.
Yeah, and that's good, because most jobs, like, it's like they take a lot of time and they just pay you with enough money to, like, get by with the time that you have left. Yeah. It's like somebody told me a job means just over broke.
I like that.
And I vibe with that hella.
Yeah.
Because, like, where's the growth in this shit? I get, like, it's like, people are like, ooh, you get a 5% raise? That's pretty big. That shit doesn't do shit year over year. How much, like, effort I be putting in? Like, I'm a keep working hard. I'm going to get paid the same amount every time.
Mm.
Another person in my position may not work as hard, get paid the same thing.
You know.
And then me being here in Utah, it's like I have to work harder just to be respected in these workforces. With
having a job being just right above broke, a wise mentor of mine once said several years ago, multimillionaire. He
listen up, folks.
He asked this question. You're working a job. You stop working. How much are you making?
That's the right answer right there, the silence. Y'all hear that?
Exactly. What would you call that? Broke.
Do you know who created employment? It was a name, John D. Rockefeller. He created the first kind of form of employment, which means that was just the first way of you legally working under a man's vision to support yourself. Another man's vision to support yourself. Because, like what people talk about America in like the old days, and like people are very capitalist and like whatever, they like free enterprise. Used to be, like there's people, they're like blacksmiths. That's like their family's business. It's like off your own vision, off your own ideas, and off your own services, you'd create a living for your family. John D. Rockefeller came in, he's like, nah, y'all don't need to think about all that shit. Y'all can just be workers. We'll think for you. And then the rest is history. Now we have Henry Ford creating like a 9-to-5 job. All right, we're going to put you on a schedule for this now. You ain't just going to work for us like when you can, or like however they have their system set up. We're going to have a formal way. You come in this time, you come out this time. And now it's turned into careers. where you're working whole careers for other people's visions, for other people's shit. Which, okay, cool. If you love the industry and you love that part of it so much, cool, do that shit. But I feel like for a lot of people and for myself, it's like I don't vibe with what a lot of people. I don't vibe with a lot of these companies are doing. I don't. It's like I can't put that much effort into it. It doesn't feel warranted in my mind.
Here's the thing though, because we can't discredit the 9 to 5 workers, because without them we wouldn't have
Right.
what we have now. Being able to go out, grab a burger, go out to the store, go out and purchase online.
Can't a robot do that shit?
To a degree, I think there's a.
I think people just meant for more than that.
Well, no, that for sure, but I do think that the people that are willing to do that is also why, like,
I feel like
we get a lot
the
of the stuff we
willingness
do.
to work is important. And like, yeah, it's true. Like companies and stuff, it does offer you a good, like, some people definitely do need a job. I need a job like supporting a lot of this shit. Like I'm not at that
Same,
level
right.
yet where I can support myself off of my own shit, off of my own products, off of like all of that. It's important and it's cool, cause yeah, they do create a way of making other people stable through their own business idea, and I feel like that's what you want to do with your with your business or the stuff that you're trying to do. You're not only trying to create opportunities for yourself, but maybe even opportunities for other people to be able to thrive in this environment that you set out.
Yeah, and
So I guess it's two sides to it, but fuck 9 to 5s and fuck working that shit.
dude, I can't imagine doing a 9 to 5 the rest of my life till I'm 65.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now that age is going up. The retirement age for how much you need to actually retire, it's going up.
Yeah, it's like the average. I think they're projecting our retirement age in like the 70s.
That's crazy. I don't want to be
Like-
working till I'm 70 like that.
Yeah, because our average, I think our average age that we're living to is into the 70s.
Right,
Yeah.
70s, maybe 80s
It's
if
like
you're lucky.
So it's like
Right.
it's like that's the reality is you work to death
Yeah.
unless you can create freedom for yourself.
Yeah, literally death.
You work to death and, like, Through working to death for other people, you get put through this medical system and all this like other type of shit, prescriptions and all that, because of this effort that you put out to other people.
Yeah.
And it's just a trap.
it's
I
just-
feel like it's a trap.
I actually made a correlation to how our society runs, and this is kind of crazy, but it's gonna sound a little weird, but the way our society is, essentially, and I say essentially because obviously it's not exactly like it, our society is essentially like caged animals. Think about this.
We're all in fucking cages. Right now we're in a fucking cage.
Well, think about this. You have a dog, right? If you have or I know you don't have a dog, but if you have a dog, what does it do for you? It does stuff for you, and you reward it. You give it treats. That's exactly the working in the 9 to 5. You do stuff for them, and they give you treats, which is the money.
We all been domesticated.
Exactly. No, like
It's true.
our
'Cause, like,
society, and real quick on the whole dog cage metaphor. Think about this. Say you're at the pound or something. You're looking for a dog, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to find a dog that you want, right? The dog is gonna try and show you tricks that it's learned from previous
like,
owners.
ooh, that's a good boy. He's obedient.
Exactly. So I like him. I'm gonna take him. And they have the different animals, not just dogs, animals categorized. That you have cats over here, dogs over here. They're labeled, right? What are we? We're labeled. We got the United States. We got different states, right? We're in boxes. We're in cages like that. We got, Utah, California. Like, why are there labels? It's because we're cages.
We're under so many different types of labels. Your type of beliefs, your type of views, the shit that you do.
Exactly. So that's
Well, it's true. It's like a lot of us get the dog beaten out of us and really become domesticated. Obedient, good boys.
Yeah, I mean, you can use that label system though for good, because I mean, with everything bad, you can flip it to good. There's
Just
two
not-
sides to a coin, and like with that, like yeah, everything is labeled, but take the good labels. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
terrible at this. Oh, I'm still learning this. You just flip it, flip your phrasing, flip the words that you call yourself, everything, and things will change.
and I think
Cause like, I feel like the labels just ain't real. Like you gotta realize that the labels aren't real.
Mhm.
it's like it's alluding to whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like seeing like a street sign. It's like this is 148 South and being like the sign is the street.
Yeah.
People just like take the label for reality. It's just a sign pointing to whatever it is. You can't fully describe it. We just create labels so we can comprehend it better.
The problem with labels, I feel like, is there's never a black and white. I think everything's gray.
Mm-hmm.
And so to put a label on something, like I don't want to. This is just a good example because I'm not trying to get into politics, but like when someone says they're like, say, Democrat or Republican, it's like really they have views, maybe a certain amount of views from one side, some views from the other side, but they're not pure Republican, pure Democrat, pure whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can be applied to like anything.
Yeah, but the thing is, what the problem is, all right, somebody be like, all right, me, they'll be like, oh, I classify myself as whatever, Democrat, Republican, and it is gray because you have your views in your head. When another person hears that and they're like, oh, he thinks he's a Republican, they're going to list them black and white. They're not going to think of the gray matter in that.
Yeah, well, some people make
unless-
decisions based on that. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a Democrat, so I have to do this.
I have to vote for this person because I'm
Exactly.
a Democrat. People need to look into the gray matter.
Right. Because
People
I think
just accept shit like black and white,
the gray is where you find the real stuff.
Yeah.
honestly. Speaking about that, my next mixtape is called Gray Matter. This shit is not so black and white.
Are you for real?
Yes, for real.
That's
for real.
so
I've
fire.
been working
What?
on this shit for months.
What a plug. That was like smooth as hell, bro. God damn.
Like, for real. I was like,
That
damn, this shit just came up. This is perfect right now.
Just tune in for that. Tune in for
Yeah, y'all
Gray
better
Matter.
tune in. I got a lot of good shit for y'all. A lot of it is unreleased now. I was releasing weekly, like every Sunday, if you guys remember.
Mm.
And I did that for
remember.
like 13 weeks straight.
That was
Yeah.
inspiring me. That was
But-
inspiring.
I had to go ghost for a little bit because
You'll be back. You'll be back.
We got a lot more coming.
He's coming back. You guys want to wrap up with anything else specific before we really get this closing?
To anybody listening, fuck what everybody thinks. It only matters what you think. Stop asking the world for answers on your questions. Answer that shit your fucking self. Because it's asking you. That's what I have.
I like that. Where can they find you guys?
You can find me all streaming platforms, Royal-T. Also Instagram, Royal_T-Lane7. And I have a link tree, so if you really have a hard time finding this, just go into my Instagram, click the link in the bio. You can get anywhere you need.
Yeah, and I'll just hit you with my Instagram again. Just Mal MAL_WST. And like I really have nothing there. So if you like following accounts with 0 posts, hit me there.
It's like, I know you guys don't like to be flooded on your feeds, so like that would be a perfect account to follow. It might fuck up your ratio if you care about that, if you're that superficial, but you should give them a follow.
Yeah,
Yes,
real
sir.
ones. And I mean, I'll keep y'all updated when I actually start putting stuff out. And that really is going to be soon. I'm just trying to figure some stuff out right now.
But it's coming soon. It's coming soon. Y'all, yeah, keep tuned in. Like, keep tuned in to everything that's happening here, and y'all will be rewarded. Like, y'all will be rewarded.
I want to thank you guys for watching this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, you guys should follow my social media. If you want to follow the podcast, it's just Out at Reese's on Instagram. I'm no longer plugging Twitter because I don't do anything there. Facebook, Out at Reese's, or my personal, Reese Shalvis. Stay up to date on guests that are appearing, such as Royal-T, Christian, and hope you guys, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
We out at Reese's. We
Peace.
out of here.
That was sick.
I like that.
That was good.
I'm going to be real. That is the first time I really actually felt nervous.
Really?
Having a nut.
Don't stop. Yeah, you know these niggas like to talk a lot. I don't like to talk a lot, but I'ma go and shoot my shot. Yeah, what you selling? You know I buy. Yeah, pulling up faster whips like what I cop. Biggest gang out here really is the cops. See ya? Yeah, I just wanna see it. Get it from the back. I wanna beat it. Yeah. I be going like, yeah, it's just like I don't know, it flows.
Yeah, it's a good beat.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like 7
Yeah.
minutes long, so
yeah. Because
Oh.
this is what I practice to.